Welcome back, everybody. This is a kind of an impromptu episode. Come get some rips here with my main man, Chew. How you doing today, Chew?
I'm doing great.
All right, very good. Well, we can get on our way. When we were discussing some of the things to talk about in the next episode, we never thought that we'd have anything like this. This has only happened one other time, and it was exciting then, and it's exciting now. Not to the same degree, but still some new music to listen to. We've got the Mark Batson Sessions. Chew. Okay? What does that mean exactly? Well, sitting at home over the weekend, having some coffee and crumpets, and
with the Queen.
With the Queen, and I get an alert on my phone about these sessions that have been released, leaked, if you will, just like the Lillywhite sessions back in 2001. And I gotta say, I kind of, like, my eyes jumped out of my head, and I had to open it up and read about it, and I couldn't believe it. And immediately my first thought is, oh my God, what's on this thing? And I see the track list, and just, I could not wait to find this. These are some of these things are songs that people have been waiting to hear in a studio version or whatever for a long period of time. Now, the thing about these two sessions, though, basically there's 2 CDs worth of material that's been released. Don't know where it's come from, and maybe somebody does. I have not seen anything about that. There was a photo back in January about like 3 discs or so that have been circulating or that were known about, that were demos from back in around the 2006 time, I guess, or even some during 2005 during the stand-up sessions. We'll get into the songs and stuff like that, but some of them definitely, I don't think go back to 2006. I think a few of them that we were listening to sound like they were sessions from Come Tomorrow, and since Batson was one of the producers on Come Tomorrow, it makes sense maybe they were just lumped in with these sessions, but who the hell knows, honestly. I could absolutely be wrong about that. What's your first impression on hearing that they had some more recordings of theirs leaked? This is the second time in their history that this has happened. What did you think?
It makes me wonder who leaked it, and sometimes you think if the band actually leaked it, and you know what I mean? Like sometimes the originators leak stuff, and then they kind of claim that it's, not that I'm saying they would do that, but I'm just saying that. Yeah. And Batson, is he related to Billy Batson, who's Shazam?
Billy Bats from Goodfellas?
Billy Bats from Shazam.
Get your shine box. Honestly,
that has happened before.
Yeah, I don't think that they would do this. First of all, just like back in the day with the Lillywhite sessions, they ended up re-recording a majority of them and putting them out on busted stuff. I think they were kind of pissed, A, because they weren't making money off of it, and B, because they weren't completed. Now, you can obviously hear in these new recordings, which I've listened to ad nauseum for the last 4 or 5 days, you can hear the rawness in them for sure. You can hear the sometimes the music is so loud you can barely hear Dave's vocal. Sometimes I think the vocal is just there to kind of in place to kind of get the melody going. But a lot of it is definitely ideas, and some of it's really polished. It sounds like it could be ready to be on an album. And like I said, we'll go through those. Now, one of the things that strikes you right away is that 8 of the songs are exactly the same, or not exactly the same, but there's 8 songs on each CD that are on both. And that would be Break Free, Can't Stop, Sister, Idea of You, Come On, which is we know as Come On, Come On, Blackjack, Early Home, Break For It. Those are songs that are all on both of these discs. Jesus Christ. But one of the other songs is, on the first disc, is called Soprano Guitar, and that also appears on the second one as a song that we know and love called Shotgun. So clearly soprano guitar was like the idea. Yeah. Clearly soprano guitar was the idea for Shotgun, and we also get a really rough version of Idea of You on the first disc as well.
I like that song.
Idea of You, yeah. Idea of You is one of the oldest ones, obviously, from Come Tomorrow, that and Can't Stop. And if Come On, Come On if these sessions from Come On, Come On are from Come Tomorrow, then it makes sense. But if they're not, then that's a song that they've been shelving for a long time, that they never played live. So that would be interesting to know. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure, but we'll go through the track listing. So for disc 1, we got Kill the King, which obviously was a song that they started playing in 2006. They've probably only and they played it a couple years ago, they haven't played. I'd be surprised if they played it more than 10 times, ever. But it's a song that I really, really enjoyed. Even back in 2006, I thought that they could, as the tour went on, when they were playing it, it got better and better. But then they just completely stopped playing it. A lot of these songs don't sound like they have any horns on them, and lacking a lot of Boyd as well. There's a great version of Break Free. There's been a version of Break Free circulating for years on YouTube and on other things, but it's really bad sound quality. Now we get the full sound quality, and Break Free is one of my favorites of the unreleased stuff. A really, really weird version of Can't Stop. Kind of like a lot of the drums on some of these songs sound like they're, like, what do you call that? Like, I guess just from a synthesizer or whatever, like just a
steel drum.
Yeah, boom, 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 on. But yeah, Can't Stop. It's got a way different way of singing it, sort of like what they used to do it back in the day. So I think that version is from the older sessions. When they were playing it back in the day. Sister is another old one. Not too much different from the version that's on the second disc either. Just pretty much Dave solo. Same exact song that we've known and loved for years. Now, the idea view on this one is a real rough version of it. The drum is totally different. You can tell he has no lyrics yet except for the chorus. You can faintly hear him in the background singing, and then you hear him sing the chorus, the same that we know, but it's definitely a little bit different and raw for sure. And then we get a Come On, Come On. We get a version of Come On, Come On. Same exact lyrics, same exact melody and everything, just obviously played a little bit differently.
It's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a great one. So I'm interested to know, like I said, whether or not that those sessions for Come On were recorded during the Come Tomorrow sessions or back in the day. I think that they were from here, but who knows. Blackjack, which was a song that I only got to see once live, I think at Citi Field, which was a pretty catchy tune too. It kind of has like that Help Myself or like, late 90s Dave sound to it, and it was a song that I liked, but they kind of stopped playing that as well. But we get two recordings here. This one they pretty much sound similar. We got a song called Fonz, which is like about a minute long, a little, obviously named after probably written by Fonz, Stefan Lessard, and it's really heavy.
No, not the Fonz. Yeah, I thought it was the Happy Day Fonz.
It's a song written by Henry Winkler, but it's definitely a heavy track. It's only like, it's less than a minute long, sort of like one of those interludes that they do, but it's definitely heavy, something that Fonz is definitely into. So then a song called Early Home, which the first time I heard it kind of stood out to me more than a lot of these songs, because it's such a powerful yet such a quiet song. It's got such a cool little guitar riff to it. Dave solo, obviously, and you think it's going to be this sweet love song, but it's basically about him finding his his love in bed with another man and then killing her, and pretty much regretting it.
It's pretty dark.
But yeah, it's very dark.
It's dark.
It's early home to see my love, and I come home and she's in the arms of another man, and so he pretty much kills her and then regrets it, but there's nothing he can do about it, and that's what the song is about.
Just walk away, sir.
I thought it was really good.
That's dark.
And then you got a song called Ask, which is another really good one. A lot of these songs have that Mark Batson sound to it, obviously, because he's producing it, but the sound that it could, you could kind of take out any song from Stand Up and just plug any of these in. Situation's another good one, a little heavy. Soprano guitar, like I said, is an early version of Shotgun, just kind of maybe noodling around with the melody of it. Recovered is an instrumental. A lot of there's not a whole lot to some of the instrumentals. They're kind of just the same. Nothing like, it's not like Kit Kat Jam where it goes all over the place, and it's just pretty much the same stuff. ABC is another instrumental, and then they finish it off with a 9-minute jam that has Robert Randolph in it, which is actually really, really good and really funky. So that's pretty much the first album. And the second one, we start off with what is this called here? There Are Ghosts, and that was an intro too. It's another instrumental. Bullets and Rum, really cool song. Now we get a newer version of Idea of You. So this honestly sounds to me just like the Come Tomorrow version, except no live sound in the beginning. But this sounds exactly to me like the version that's on Come Tomorrow. Break Free sounds exactly like the version that's on the first disc. There's a song called Red Glare on here. The Bomb's Red Glare. He mentions in the song. Another very good song. Early Home, another version of Early Home that sounds exactly like the one that's on the first one. And we get a version of number 27 that starts off, instead of having the guitar being played, it sounds like a banjo. Much mellower version of 27, but still pretty cool. And then we get a real old school version of Cornbread, must have been in its infancy. And then we get a version of Shotgun, which the music and the melody sounds exactly like what we know. Clearly, though, we're used to the kind of lyrics that they're stuck with now, and the version that we hear whenever they play it live. This is still, it's Shotgun, but it's in its infancy, so you don't really have the lyrics like we do now, or some of the parts are a little different, but still pretty cool to hear a studio version of it. Come On again, got to be from Come Tomorrow Sessions. Another version of Blackjack, which sounds pretty similar. Drive Me Away, which is one of my favorites on the entire 2 discs that we have. That's definitely worth a listen. Scream in the Grave. It's a short song, but I think this could be my favorite of all of them. Such a cool sound to it. Definitely one that you have to check out. Sister is on here again, another Dave solo version. And then one that is a clear, complete departure from the band. There's a song called Celebrate. And, I mean, when you listen to this, you would think that there's absolutely no way possible. You'd think that somebody else recorded this and it got mixed in with these demos. And then you hear Dave sing on it, and it's very different. I would venture to say that it's probably the most different sounding song I've ever heard from the band. I played some of it for you. What did you think?
I kind of liked it. It was that the heavy one?
That was the very heavy one. Yep. Yeah, it's got a way different sound to it. I'm not sure because of copyright. Man, I have the songs right here. I wish I could just play them.
Are we going to jail for even for like telling the?
We didn't leak it, guys. I promise you. But we will listen to it now that it is leaked.
Will that make Dave hate us? Will he be
it shouldn't. But Dave, listen. If Dave knew who I was, I'd be a happy man, right or wrong. So it doesn't matter. Even if he hated me, if he knew who I was, that'd be great.
Rips.
Then we get a version of Can't Stop that's definitely more of the speed like the Come Tomorrow version, and then another version of Break For It, which is pretty similar to the one that was on the first one. So there are some things on here that we've never heard before, and then there's a few that we've never heard, but we have them duplicated on the second disc as well. Now, apparently there's a third disc that's there, but it has not been leaked. Again, have no idea where these came from. But exciting nonetheless, because it's more new music, anything new, and I venture to think, how many songs do they record for an album? So for instance, if they put out Come Tomorrow, and it's 11 to 12 tracks, how many songs do you think they recorded for it?
That didn't make the cut,
right? And you've heard about this stuff for forever. From Machead back in 1998, songs like that were supposed to be on Before These Crowded Streets. There's still songs that have never been recorded or have been recorded that we've not gotten. We have a version of Sweet Up and Down from the Lillywhite Sessions, but it was never finished and fully recorded. We've got versions of songs like Joyride and some of these other ones, but there's plenty that we did not. So some of these were filled in. But again, how excited can you be? They're not complete. Like Shotgun, I was crazy to hear a great studio version of it, but at this point, like I'm used to versions that they've played, in the last couple years or whatever. I mean, they haven't played it recently, but it's a set song now. It's got lyrics that he doesn't really change very much, and a style that he sings. So when you hear this, you're looking for those kind of lyrics, but it's more raw than that. So. But still, like I said earlier, it's still cool to get studio versions of these and to see kind of the progression of, what they were thinking in the studio, how it came out, how it was sounding. And a lot of the time on this, I feel like it's not even Carter playing; it's a drum machine. You get that kind of like hip hop feel to it, like
beatbox.
Yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like. But But for me personally, I mean, you can tell me what you think. I mean, for me personally, the highlights on here, obviously Break Free, because I love that song, and obviously Shotgun. But as far as the new ones go, Early Home, I love. I mean, I absolutely love it. I wish Dave and Tim would play this, or this would be a perfect song for him to play as the first song in an encore when he comes out and does just like one song. But Drive Me Away, Scream in the Grave, Red Glare is really good. You know, I mean, listen, it's Dave, so we're going to be biased anyway, and everything is really good. What were your favorites just from listening to some of these earlier with me?
You know, maybe it's just because it's from Come Tomorrow, which is freshest. I kind of like hearing the alternate versions of the ones.
Yep.
From there, you know,
it's like the idea of you and come on. Yeah. See, it is cool, and it's cool from someone like you who's not as nuts as I am about Dave. For you, like the stories that I tell you about, oh, they've recorded these back in the day, but now they're coming out on this album. So now you can go back and you can hear some of how these origins came from Idea of You or Can't Stop or Come On, Come On. Even if Come On, Come On, the demos were from these latest sessions, you can hear the progression from the finished product to what they had when they first started. And clearly, like I said before, some of these were definitely, all right, we're going to go in the studio and F around and see what we get, and we'll record it, and then we'll play it back later, and we'll you could tell, obviously, like I said, the Idea of You, the first Idea of You that's on here is definitely way different. And Can't Stop, from what it was in 2006 to what it is now, is definitely a big departure as well. So we're looking forward to, I don't know what this means. Do you think they'll play any of these songs live? Now that some of them have come out. I mean, some of the ones that, Kill the King, Break Free, Break For It have been played before, Blackjack as well. Just they're not in rotation at all, and they haven't been played in a while. Do you think now that some of these have been leaked, any of them see the light of day?
That's possible. I mean, you start chanting the titles.
Early home, early home.
They'll be like, get that guy.
But the thing about Dave is he doesn't know the words to some of the songs that he plays often. Sometimes, so he's gonna be like, early home and never serenade. But I think that I don't think he'll play any of them. I think that there's a reason why they probably left some of these off, and apparently they were supposed to come out with a stand-up, like almost like a stand-up 2. After stand-up came out in 2005, and they kind of just did
stand up again.
Everybody up again.
Everybody's standing up.
Or they should call it sit down. But they ended up scrapping the stuff with him again, and like they do with a lot of these guys now, and they scrapped those kind of the songs that they had been working on, and they ended up going with Cavallo and doing Big Whiskey in 2009, and then coming back to Lily White in 2012. So. And then back to 17 producers for the last album. So that's why it makes sense, though, that Batson would have some of these demos from the newer album, because he was on that as well. And these were the songs that he produced. So,
oh boy, did leak these.
My friend texted me, and I said, I wonder where they got it. He said, Butch Taylor's ex-wife or something like that. But nonetheless, no idea. It never really kind of was said who leaked out the Lily Whites back in the day. Tinsley, you bastard!
Now they can blame everything.
It was Boyd. I don't know how the band feels about it. Obviously, it's their music and stuff that's leaked out, and But I would think, I've been thinking, and it's pretty terrible. Like posthumously, just like with Tom Petty. Tom Petty just had another, not a box set, but like a double CD come out of some rarities and stuff like that. And I always wonder when it all is said and done at the end of the day, and these guys aren't around anymore, like how much music is there that will be released, but there's 70 producers, so like, do they all have their hand in it? Like, how many songs with Lily White does he have scrapped that they did together? Even songs with Cavallo that they probably recorded for Big Whiskey or for the new album, that, you could do it with any of the guys. They probably have so much music that's just catalog that they've never played. And there's a lot of times where you see a song like Kill the King and you've heard it live, and you know it exists as a big fan, but there's never been a recording of it or anything like that surfacing. So now you see, okay, well, they played that because this is something they were working on back then. Break Free, Break For It was only played a couple times too. So there's so many of these that are just like, they were rare and they were played a little bit here and there, and they're probably just testing them out to get a feel for them and, go back in the studio and record them which is what they do a lot. And, you know, sometimes it's one of those throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And a lot of times these things stick, and they, you know, but there's songs too, like Shotgun's a song that they were recording. They play it maybe once a tour, if even that sometimes. And it always gets a great response, and they know people love it, and they still do it, but it's just never, you know, Sugar Will's another one that's never, I've seen, there's video evidence of him recording it during Big Whiskey.
It sounds like Bigfoot.
Evidence, it's like, because they have like a documentary that had, and they show him recording it, playing it, recording it.
But he's blurry.
But son of a bitch has never put it out.
It's not proven that.
You know what? But I'll tell you, that song's kind of become watered down over the years anyway. It used to be great back when they started playing it in '04, but that's a session that I would love to hear. Like, they must have been recording stuff in 2004 when they were doing Good Time, you know, Hello Again, Crazy Easy, Joyride. A couple of those ended up coming out and being released, but there's some of those that have never. Crazy Easy, they played, I think, once a couple years ago on like a whim. Joyride, they never play. There's so many songs that they just don't do anymore. And so many of them are just popular because of their live performance that were never released. So there's got to be so much material that we just don't even know, you know, because I never heard of, you know, Ask or ABC or Situation. Never heard of These Are Ghosts, Bullets and Rum, Red Glare. You know, so many of these Celebrate are just songs that you never even knew existed, and it's cool that we get to hear them now. And who knows what else will be released. I hope there's more stuff to come, but at the same time I feel bad for the guys.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's something that they don't want released, then it shouldn't be, because in a way it's like, you know, it's like a painter painting something that he thinks sucks or that's not complete and putting it away, and then going and working on other things. And then somebody comes in and steals it from him and puts it out and says, "Yeah, this is a Picasso." And he looks at it and he's like, "But it's not, you know, it's not done, and it wasn't yours to take." So, you know, there's lots of different varying feelings. But as a super fan, you know, knowing that they're out there, what am I going to do? It's like one of those, I got to hear it. You know, it's not costing me any money to buy it, and it's not, you know. So
But you're hurting Dave.
But I'm listening. I'm not streaming it. In any way other than YouTube. I haven't downloaded it and put it on my phone or anything like that, but I do have the links to YouTube channels so that I can listen to it, and I've been doing nothing but that in my car because I'm a friggin' loser when it comes to Dave. So but anyway, exciting stuff. The tour is upcoming, only about a month away, a little over a month away from starting. I'm excited to go see him 3 times, 2 MSG, 1 Mohegan Sun, and see if their set lists are a little more diverse, or I shouldn't say a little more diverse, see if their set lists vary from what they did over the summer, if they do anything different, but I'm just excited to see the boys in any capacity, as I always am. Chew, do you have anything else to say about this subject before we head out?
So technically you could say that this Batson leak, or I guess 2 leaks, because it's 2, or is it 1?
Yeah, so it's a bunch of songs, but it's broken up. It seems into like 2 CDs, whatever a CD is, right?
So it's probably their biggest leak since the tour bus leaked over the bridge.
That's cold, man.
That was bad.
That's cold. People in Chicago were sorry.
That wasn't their fault, though.
No, it was It was one of the drivers. Yes, but yes,
that's terrible.
They definitely covered the town of Chicago's river and shit. And
as long as Dave didn't go down for it, then.
No, I mean, they definitely caught some shrapnel, but, you know, there was definitely something that they also were aware of after and took care of and did what they had to do. Listen, they go out and they preach peace and love and all this kind of stuff, and especially Dave. I mean, he's obviously someone who's a champion for the environment, for good causes. So I'm sure he was mortified in more ways than one that
they fired that bus driver. They must have.
I think they drowned him in the shit. I think they stuck his head in it until he suffocated, or drowned in it. But yeah, nonetheless, that was definitely one of the black eyes on the band. But there haven't been many over the years, other than that and Boyd maybe. So they've been very, very lucky. But yeah, man, we're going to continue to monitor the situation. If anything else comes out, we'll be listening. But if any of you are looking to find out how to listen to these tracks, I have no idea other than YouTube. I would just do a Google search for the Batson Sessions, or just type in the Batson Sessions on YouTube, and hopefully they will pop up. I have links. If you'd like them, just email us or write a comment, and I'll gladly post the links for you. Chew, another great episode. Thank you very much for joining me and indulging me in this Dave stuff. Stay tuned. We have some exciting new episodes coming up. Some hypotheticals coming up. I won't tell you too much, but they're Halloween themed, and they do have to do with Dave Matthews and his band. So, for Mr. Chew, I'm Dr. Rips. We'd like to thank you for watching. A little bit of Come Get Some. Eat, drink, and be merry. Take care.